So we have a question from Sean. Now, Sean, I've already emailed back because there's a time issue on this. Tomorrow I fly out to Tokyo to cover my 5th Olympics. I'm hugely fortunate. Yeah, man. I know, but this time around things will be very different. We'll have a hard quarantine where we have to stay in our hotel rooms for 3 days and then another 11 days in the bubble. Between our hotels, buses, and venues, where we're not allowed to go anywhere. That includes walking outside. With the hotel gym also closed, this presents a few challenges, particularly when it comes to exercise. Usually, my plan for the Olympics is simple. I swim, run, and do body weight exercises at the Olympics for the first couple of weeks to keep ticking over and for stress release. Walk around everywhere with the heavy rucksack, and then when the track and field program kicks in and I'm doing 14-hour days, just hang on. I love that. I think that's great. Without those options, what would you advise? I bring a TRX, but I'm not sure my hotel room will be big enough to use. Yeah, if you use a TRX, double check that door frame. I tell you what I do on the road trip is I always bring my Brett Contreras glute loop. Now, gentle listeners, I also have contacted him, gave him very specific advice, but let's just talk generally. When I travel, I always travel with a Brett Contreras glute loop. This last weekend, when I got off the plane, I went to my hotel room and I undid the damage of my flight by getting on my back, putting the glute loop around, and I did 15 hip thrusts, 15 clamshells, 14 hip thrusts, 14 clamshells, 13, 13, 12, 12, 11, 10, 10, 10, 10, and all the way down. That's my secret for undoing damage. I like hip thrusts. I like clamshells. If you put it around your knees and you can do monster walks, that's going to take care. Oh, and you can also do, I think they're called prisoner squats, but hands-free goblet squats. You know, you put the knee band around your knees, you push your knee out as hard as you can. When I do these, I like to hold on to a doorknob or something like this so I can kind of water ski the position. So I'm pushing my knees out and get some squats in. Boy, one time I did, it's called the stop and pop, which is it's a kettlebell swing movement with no weight. And at the top of every one, you squeeze your hands together, you slap your thighs and pause in the hinge position. And I did, I did 20 stop and pops, 20 goblet squats, 19, 19, 18, 18. And that was one of the hardest workouts I've done in my life. And I don't remember why I worked so hard on that particular trip. I must have been scolding myself for something. Obviously, the push-up, press-up in Sean's case, because he's British, is very valuable. And then, of course, if you can hook up the TRX, do your stuff there. But I would strongly suggest playing around with hip thrust, clamshell, press up, push up, that kind of thing. If the place is well built, anything you can do with marching in place is very valuable. And I like this whole, we used to call them, was it the Tai Chi stretches or the Ki stretches or something, where it was a series of, I'm sitting on the floor and I stretch my hamstrings this way. I go wide leg, stretch my hamstring, and then come forward again. And then I go to my left leg and the wide leg, and then I go to my right leg and the wide leg. And then I get in the children's pose and then sit back. So you're doing, you're doing a lot of hamstring and then quad stretches. I always found that to be a nice little tonic on road trips. I don't, in all candor, I don't do it anymore because I get more out of the hip thrust and clamshells than I do out of the stretching. So you have an email in your box, Sean, and for the rest of you, there's just some ideas. Thank you.